All right. I think we're good to go. So, looking at what we did last week, we we looked at a lot of areas that including deployment of our work to the cloud, which we did. We deployed our job. What we did, we deployed it to the cloud. We even used the real life hosting platforms to deploy it, e.g. Hostinga. And then we deployed our blog platform. We deployed it to the cloud. And I think we have let me see. So that was more of last week, what we did last week. We created, uh, we used the Vue and other AI tools to uh, create clean components. And at the end of everything, we're able to have a very clean and nice design for our work. And at the end of the day, even though it was just the listing of the post that was designed later, we were able to accomplish something good, making our work look smooth and slick. And which at the end of the session of last week, at the end of last week's session, we were able to post the platform, making it live. And I'm going to share my screen so that those of us who did not see the last week projects are going to look at it now. So I think it's here. Where is it? Okay, this is it. So I'm going to share it right now. So as we all can see, this is a completed blog application, blog platform. Very small, minimal, but sleek and beautiful. You can see this particular component was created using by this company. Let me show this. See, this is a component in this design because a component is just uh, a single section with group of other informations wrapped together. Okay, it can be this is a component. This box here, it's this uh, first article here. It's Samuel front end, date, what's up, man, whatever, whatever. This is a component, okay? And this, uh, the other one, the latest post can also be a component. Let's say we want to have as many headers as possible. We can create a latest post component. Like you noticed in our previous last week class, we created components for the buttons, which is here. You can see we use the button over and over again on the post. So the button is a separate component on its own. So we talked about all this, and at the end of the day, we came out with a very good result, which led us to production and giving us the right tools uh, for for doing all this. Okay. So the most important thing is now we know the right tools we can use to create components when developing our projects instead of making a particular AI editor to do everything for us. You can't use AI once. It's not as if those AI editors can do it for you, but at some point they will get stuck because it's not what they are meant to do. There are AI agents that are meant for component generation, and there are AI agents that are meant for coding. At the end of the day, all of them still do coding, but there is where they are specified, where they are based, and this base is where their strengths are. So if you don't use them on their greatest strengths, then you are going to lose out. So looking at this, today's today's session, I believe everybody have seen the week notes, right? Everything we're going to do for this week.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So first of all, like from our previous classes, I know I said we're going to need an OpenAI account. We're also going to need a line chain account or API key. We're going to need a vector database account, which is Spine Code, Waviet, or Cloud for this week class. And at the end of the day, we're also going to need a Python 3 runtime environment, which I'm going to install in my system, and I'm going to show the process of doing all that. So, and finally, we need at least an OpenAI account with at least $5 should be in the account. But if you don't want to spend your money, I have $5 in my own account. I can use it and we'll move on to the next one. So now, today's class, we'll be looking at uh, how to use OpenAI chat completion, stream function, callings, vision, and speech to text and image generation. Okay. This time around, we're not going to be doing it inside OpenAI or inside ChatGPT. We'll be doing it outside OpenAI using our own platforms. Okay. And again, we're also going to explain the core building blocks of LangChain, which is going to be on Wednesday. We're going to explain the core building blocks of LangChain, prompt, memory, document loader, and output, and what they are. And on Friday, we're going to explain RAG, which is a retrieval augmented generation, how it works. And we're going to look at vector database and embedding feeds into the process, which by the end of it, we're going to build a document question and answer system. Okay, then that's fine. Okay, so let's get started. So chat completion and stream response. The chat completion endpoint accepts a sequence of message and returns generated reply. So if we send, the way you send you will go to ChatGPT and you send hello, and ChatGPT responds back to you like, hi, how are you doing? That's more like the chat completion and streaming responses. The response is hi, how are you doing? Which that's our streams of response. The streams of response can vary from different of response, cannot be the same all the time. You can say hi, you can say hello, and you get uh hi, just hi. Okay? And you can say hello, and you say hi, how are you doing? And you can say hello, and it says, hey, hope you're good today. Those are like streams of responses. It can be all the same pattern, but different streams. Okay. And these AI orchestrators usually pick randomly from any of those streams as far as it fits the response type. Okay. Let's move forward. Streaming is a response chat interface appear to type response in real time rather than pausing, then displaying a full graph at once. Stream response arrive at server sent events. It arrives at server sent events, that's SSE. Interface should append tokens to display buffer as they arrive and handle dropped connection gracefully. So you see the way when I say can, if I say ChatGPT to do something, let's say build 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 a mini web page. You see the way ChatGPT keep dropping the text each time, like slowly, slowly, each text, each text, each text. It keeps going until it completes to the end. Let's say, for instance, let me share my screen. So, my screen, so you get to understand what I'm saying. So let's use ChatGPT. I hope everybody can see my screen. Okay, so let's ask a question like mm, what is okay? Mm, Great storyline for War of Ages, assuming this is game sense. This is this is very generic, but let's just do it for now. You see, the answers are not dropped at once. Just keep watching. You see, it keeps streaming. Now, this is what is called streaming. Okay, you can see the 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 answers are dropped each time, chunk per chunk. Meaning, this way it reduces the time taken for the text, the response to be dropped completely. All right. So if, for instance, you ask the question and yeah, I just drop the answer like in bunch, boom, that will be too heavy for the UI to manage. So it's better to drop it slowly at a time. So that is what is called streaming. You stream the response. See, it kept streaming the response. It kept streaming the response until to the end of everything. To the end of the whole response is complete. Okay. So um, let's continue. So now let's look at the technical note. Streaming response arrive as server-send events. Interfaces should be token to display buffers as they arrive. Okay, so those interfaces is just not a complete interface, but a short version of it. Uh, let's say instead of giving you a whole sheet of paper, the whole plain sheet is divided in four places, and then each time one square is given to you, and each time another square is given to you, and each time each square is given to you, they are all sealed up, making it a half rectangle, and then another square given to you, sealed up, and then another square given to you, making the full sheet. Okay, so that's what the display buffer is. Okay, so it's more like a very short uh, part of the document, all dropped at a time, and at the end of everything, everything is packaged to become one. Okay, so function calling and tools. Function calling lets a model request that a specific function be executed with structured arguments rather than only returning free text. The application executes the function and returns the results to the model, which then continues with the conversation. Define available function with a name. Uh, Define available function with a name, description, parameter, schema. The model decides the function call is appropriate based on the conversation. So we'll start looking at Vision API for understanding image. Images can include alongside text in a request, a long model to describe, analyze, or answer questions about visual context. And we'll also look at Whisper for speech to text. Whisper describes token audio into text, supporting use cases such as voice input, mixed transcription, and accessibility features. At the end of everything for today, we'll be looking at DALE for image generation. DAL-E generates images from text, useful for placeholders, concept visualization, and creative features. So all this is what we're going to look at today. So we're going to do a complete deep dive in everything. And then we're going to use Python 3 environment to run this. So I'm going to, uh, please hold on. Just a minute, please. Excuse me. Let me check something. Sorry about that. Okay, let's continue, please. First of all, like I said earlier, when we started the session, we are going to need an API key from OpenAI. So I'm going to share my screen. Going to share my screen so you see what I'm doing. By the end of this class, we'll be versed in how to use OpenAI and how to use it. So in order to make this class very simple and not too complicated, I'm going to continue from our orchestration application. But let's make it simple. Let's just use Flask API. Uh, say, when you say Flask API, it's just an extension of Python uh, that is used for back-end development. Okay, we're going to use Flask API, not Flask, not Flash, rather. So we're going to use Flask API. Okay, so this is it. So we're going to use Flask API for this. So as you can see, it's browsable web APIs for the web. So you can see most of these things are it's used for web development and API development. Okay, so let's look at another one of the things we're going to use. We're going to use OpenAI Python. Okay, so this is what we're going to use next. We're going to use the official OpenAI library, and then we're going to use it together with Python. You can see this is it, and this is how to use it. Okay, now remember last time I said something about how we develop with uh, AI and how to make our work very fast. So I'm going to still use the same approach. First of all, I'm going to open a new project. Remember, this is our day 3 and day 4. So this is our day 5. Okay, so I'm going to open this folder. First of all we are building here is a chat completion. Uh, Remember the last time we built an orchestrator that has a central knowledge from our own data, right? So this data is not external, it's within our own uh, code. So today we're going to build something a bit advanced, data that is outside our code. You will see our AI will become very intelligent and very, very mature. So let's start with this. I'm going to create a new chart. So what we're building is we're building a chart, orchestrator, right? But this time around, we are building it with chat. We are building it with OpenAI. Okay. And we're also going to extend image generation. All right. Making it perfect. And then we're not going to use Whisper today, but I can show you what Whisper is all about. So this is Whisper. So this is Whisper. This is not Whisper. So this is Whisper. It's a uh, robust chat recognition by large scale with supervision. Okay, it's it's just for speech recognition. Okay, you play music in the background, you recognize it as fast as it can. All right. So this is Whisper. Whisper is very, very good at what it do. Uh, we might want to use Whisper, but that will be a bonus class. I think we'll have to contribute on that. Okay, let's just see what we do, whether uh we can finish up today and then maybe include this by the end of the class. But let's move forward. First of all, we're going to plan this project. So we don't have much time. And then now it's time I show you a very simple trick when developing. Now, if you look at every application has a brand and has a color, has a background, has everything. Okay. So the first thing is there is a platform for colors. Um, can either use HTML color codes or you go to color.co. All right. So, but and just going to use this guy, the color picker. All right. So these are colors. These are all colors. So now I can just pick a color that I want for this project. So I'm going to use this guy. I'll say primary color, and I'll paste this guy. Put an hash in the front, and then secondary color. And now I'm going to use something a bit, that's fine. So paste that guy. And put him on. So, so what we're creating is a plan. I'm going to send this, and our plan will be created. Based on our project is not much. This project is going to be very simple, and we're not going to break this down into milestone. The purpose why I taught you how to break projects uh, projects down into milestone is for large and complex projects. Okay, but for projects that are not too big, very small, minimal, we can actually create this. Hold on, this. I think this is becoming a headache since it's trying to create something that wasn't asked to create. Okay, so I'm going to wait for it. Okay, so I'm going to refresh this. Page was existed. And it's going. I was going to open this in a new box. Okay. Um, so this is everything. So I'm just going to copy this. Let me copy it. Yeah, I'm gonna have another view. MD and someone is trying to find. Okay, I have this one. Wasn't copied. Let me try copying it. Good morning, Faith.
Morning.
So let me try pasting that. Okay. Uh-huh. Now everything we have is ready. So since why the reason why I taught you how to use milestone pattern of development is because some projects are very, very uh, complex and they are very, very critical. So it's very, very important you understand how to use this. So, but for today's class, because of our time, we're not going to use milestone-based development. We're going to generate a single source of truth, which is going to be what we are going to use to create our project. All right. So this is for simplicity's sake, I'm going to share the prompt at the end of. I'm going to share it in the conversation area. Uh, First of all, let us say looking at hash probably, or we can say current file. So I'm actually using Kira for those who is seeing the editor for the first time. I'm using Kira for this. So looking at current file. So here comes my context. The first context is the first natural language here is look at current file. Okay. Now I'm going to say create a milestone. Now, you see that this particular prompt is different from the last one because this one here is just going to be a single file, nothing more. Okay, create a milestone.md, create a milestone.md, dependency base, 0 to 1. Okay, now we're going to do this broken down TX. Okay, I'm going to put a full stop. Before we put a full stop, don't forget to add UI plus backend logic plus UI. Okay. Always remember this. This the end result of this, that's a very so you are trying to tell it that uh, based on dependency, top to bottom, and each feature that is being handled is is will have to include backend logic plus UI. Okay. I think that's it. Next, click submit. So it's going to create a single file called milestone.mb based on our overview. Okay. So now our overview is going to be what is going to hold uh, our source of truth for our planned project. Meanwhile, our milestone.md file is going to hold everything we want to build. Here, this project is a very simple project. You can see here, this is our brand. Remember, I used color, and so it's a primary, and see that's the color I picked from the color UI website. So this is a plan. You can see everything started from tier 0. Sorry about this. I think my VPN is kind of going crazy. Yeah, yeah, it's back. Okay, now see we have 0.2, 0.3, 0.5, 0.5, and it goes all the way down to tier 1, which is our final end. So everything is connected successfully. So let's start building because of our time. Won't be wasting more time here. So first of all, we say start implementing PR 0. So once we do this, our project-based development will start implementing from this particular tier, which is the first tier, which is the 0. Okay. So in this particular project, you remember I said we need Python 3 to be installed in our system. For those of us who don't know how to do this, I'm going to share a video of how to get Python 3 installed. So looking at this, I have so we're going to look at videos. BNB. So we're going to look at Python installation and how to install a virtual environment. Okay, so let's start with Python installation. I'm going to paste this. I'm going to look for somebody who is very good in this. Somebody who is good. I'm going to use this guy here. Very good in this. So I'm going to copy. I'm going to paste it in the conversation area. Please check out conversation area for the so let's look at the next one. So we're going to look at this, how to set up a virtual environment on. So we're going to use this one. So I pasted this in the conversation area. I hope we get that. So let's move on. While waiting for our project here, we're going to start our virtual environment. Time is almost up, moving really, really fast. So we've successfully installed everything that is needed. And then if I check my chat orchestrator here, I have the DMV, I have my app here. Everything is good. Okay. I'm going to remove the app itself, thereby keeping our so our requirement file is here, which is going to be OpenAI, the Flask API I talked about, our python.env file, and then data validation, this one for request, and so on and so forth. Okay. So this is going to be our env file, how we want our project. So this is where we're going to be pasting our API key, which I'm going to show us how we copy this API key and where we're getting it from and everything. Okay, our image generation, this is the DAL-E I was talking about, and this is GPT-4, which is what are going to be used for our text generation model. And you see, our development is going on really, really fast, and fantastic is working just the way we planned. So, first of all, let's go get our keys. So, going back to OpenAI, OpenAI. Okay, I already have those keys from last time when we discussed during our sessions. Uh, we talked about how to create these keys, and I created one, which is a pandemic session. So what I'll do here is you see, I can no longer retrieve the key itself because the key is no longer available. But I can get that key from and get that key. Okay. I think the key should be somewhere. Not here. Pasted that, we created the key and then so let's just create a new one then. If that's the case, I can delete this one and then create a new key. This is the key. So I can report the key and then create a new key. Find the and then select project and then create secret key. Now I'm going to copy this key and then go back to our project here. Go back to our project here and paste this key. Okay. So you can see here, I just pasted the key inside the env file. But this env file is not supposed to be example. So it's going to be the main env file here. And then we are hosting on port 5000. And this is our run application, which is going to be run.py. And development is true. This is debug, meaning that the application is not running on the cloud, it's running outside the cloud. So the purpose, everything has been installed successfully. So it's changed everything. And put it back how it was. So we're going to run the application and be sure that everything is working perfectly. So let's run the application. As you can see, it was a success. Our test came out successfully. And our first milestone is complete, which is tier 0.01 on this one. So everything here, 0.01 is complete. So now going to the next one, which is our basic 0.2, which is our basic API structure. And then the third one, which is going to be our OpenAI integration using our key and everything. So remember we got this, how we got this key, right? So the key is going to be what is going to be used for authentication uh, for us. That is how OpenAI will know that the request is coming from the right source. So if the request is not coming from the right source, OpenAI will also know that the request is not coming from the right source as well. So everything basic, everything here is very basic. That way we can finish the class and still be able to achieve what we plan to achieve today. So the purpose of not using building this application in real time is for us to understand how we can maximize our use of AI tools and how to use it properly during development, making our work easy, fast, and very, very extremely very fast. So here you can see here it's moving to milestone 0.3, which is this milestone 0.3, which is OpenAI integration. At the end of this particular milestone, it will now move to tier 0.5. This particular tier will have to contain the UI as well, you can see. So tier 0.7 is our orchestration foundation. Okay, so this is going to contain our conversation maintenance, and everything that follows. Okay, so tier 8 will now be our image generation. I think we can finish this in less than 10 minutes, given our time, given our current time. We can finish this in less than 10 minutes. So let's see how that goes. So you see how fast our development is, how fast we are moving based on the approach and patterns we are using. So this approach and pattern makes your work easy, fast, and smooth, removing unnecessary roadblocks or any factors that will stop you from developing. Okay, currently we're going to run our test and be sure that our test to OpenAI provider actually works perfectly. So as you can see, our test passed and the test failed. Sorry about that. More like this test is just for um, not using real parameters, just for testing of each of the API functions. And currently the test passed. Let's run the program and be sure that everything still works. So everything works, checks out, we have everything. Our chat orchestrator was created successfully, and our TS is now complete. So we're very close to the UI. So let me check my balance to be sure that I still have balance in this. Going back to OpenAI. Yeah. So you go to billing. This is where you predict your API balance to be sure that you have balance in, to be sure you have credits in your balance. Now, one good thing about using API, OpenAI directly is to have you have full control and the charges is not much, is not more, just like you are being charged outside using other platforms. Here, you are charged. You pay for what you use. Okay, you don't pay for what you don't use. So everything passed. Let's run it again. It's taking a bit of time to run. So we're running it. And as you can see, tier 0 is completed and ready for tier 0.5. So instead of allowing this to continue, because more you use more credit each time you create each milestone. So don't allow your editor to go for too long during development. Always make sure you control how the generation flows. All right. So let's move to tier 0.5. So we say start implementing tier 0. This time I just to put next tier. Okay. And it will just go straight to tier 0.5, which is going to be uh which is going to be chat core chat functionalities and our basic UI. Okay. And then at the end of this, we have to move to tier 0.7 and tier 0.8, 0.9, and finally 3.11 and 1.0. Okay. So this gives us the leverage. Just stretching my body to be sure that I'm very fit right now. So we're going to look at the chat. Uh, see, this is more very simple. They say user message context. You can see and optional conversation ID. So this is more like the chat model. Okay. Where all our chats have been saved. This is where it is. So the chat model. Now, this is our chat response. Okay. And this is how we create the conversation. And this is the conversation response. This is our message history. So this is basically all our models. Okay. So here we have our manager, which manages the conversation. Okay. Then finally, the entry point. This is our API, our chat API. Okay. Our chat API here. And let's run to be sure that everything checks out successfully. So say 13 passed, but all tests passed successfully, which is great. This is perfect. Okay, we have 4 minutes to go. I don't think we'll be able to finish in 4 minutes. 4 minutes to go. Okay. Uh, just make sure you have credits in your balance and be sure that this balance will be able to run most of your testing operations. So we're not going to test much. We're just going to be sure that our UI is connected to our backend, which is connected to our OpenAI API. Okay. Let me see. There is it. Okay, we should be rounding up because our time is almost up, and we've run into too many requests about ChatGPT. So let's round up with more. Uh, let's round up with something more experienced. I'm going to open a new window. Um, this particular editor is called Trade. Okay, it's also very similar to Kira, but Kira is more experienced. But just for this class sake, we're going to just make use of, oh, what did I do? That is very wrong. That is very crazy. What I did just now is crazy. I wasn't supposed to do that. Now, I wasn't supposed to do that. So I'm going to open folder and go to tutorial, page 5, and open it again. That means I have to close this one. I'm supposed to swim. So, okay. Yeah, I chose this one. Let me just say continue. Ah, so now I'm going to the UI, all tests was passed completely. All our conversation was successful. But we do have some errors, which is fine. But for success. That's what matters. So this our this our UI is just going to be a shell that is going to house all our logic and is going to be the bridge between our backend and OpenAI backend. Just like the way ChatGPT UI is a bridge between OpenAI and OpenAI backend. Okay, ChatGPT is a direct link of direct bridge to OpenAI backend. All right. So this is our HTML was generated, which is perfect. This is our CSS, it's perfect as well. So our code is actually getting a bit larger, but our project is still very short, not that big and not that large as well. Because why our project is a bit big like this is because we planned it successfully and our plan was executed by this AI. So let's wait for this uh, JavaScript to be generated, which it is. Perfect. So this is our chat orchestrator. This is great. That's the way we want it. I think someone is calling. Oh, that's finish. Ah, this. Okay. Let me run the project again. Project is starting. So successful. Our port is already in use. I think we can stop that. Let me activate our source. Open up this. Have to continue that. So let's open up this guy. Open terminal and then paste this guy. And then we'll have to run the server, which is the server is run.py. To run that. The Python server is located in our DMV file, DMV en. So we say DMV slash VM slash Python. And then we want to run the run.py. Run.py. Okay. So this is going to start our server successfully at 5:01. So I'm going to open this up. So we do have some errors. which we would like to fix, but that will make this particular program very, very long. We're going to fix this error, and we're going to paste it on the uh, uh, copy the video and then paste it in the group so that everybody can see how we did that. And then we'll try as much as possible to finish the remaining part of the milestone because our milestone is growing larger and larger. And if any of us actually needs this milestone, please specify in the group so that I can send you the milestone files. Okay. And then you want to continue on your own. And then I think that's way better. And you get to maximize how to do this. You learn from the existing milestone and then build yours as time goes on. I think that's perfect. I think we're good to go. For today's class, we will end today's session. At least you can see that our project is running, but we do have some errors actually. A lot of it. It's type one, we have some errors. So most of the errors are coming from, let me just fix one of it. Let me show you how to debug with AI. Just to make this. So this, what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to run. So what the error is all about is quite simple. It's just templates missing. So I'm going to paste it here, say fix. So now it's either I do that or I do just this. Just A, copy everything, or end it here, copy everything, and then paste it there. So you see, the main issue is just that this template is missing. Flags can't find this. It's actually not in the environment. Flags is missing that template. So we're going to fix that. But because to just make the class short, we're going to fix that as soon as possible. So right now, we're going to run the project again. And as you can see, the chat works. Okay. But now there's no conversation. We can't send chat and get feedback. So I think we can. I say AI is typing. So you see, this particular response is coming from ChatGPT directly. So if I say, are you ChatGPT? Okay, that was not like a very great question actually. See, yeah, we are well connected to ChatGPT, and this was confirmed and completed using the using just from our milestone here that made this possible is just by completing milestone 0.5, which is this. Okay, so everything charged milestone 0.5 is working perfectly, you can see, and this is very great. If I say I want to write, okay, let's say create a simple HTML page. So let's see what it's going to do. So it may not actually create this HTML page for us, but as you can see, this page was created very simple because that's what we wanted. Okay, so this is our web page here and makes it very, very genuine. We can also say create a new chart and our old one will just be there. Okay, so you see now we've created our own chart orchestrator, just like the way ChatGPT is. And today's class is very short, and today's class has come to long, not short actually. I think it's been great, and we all learned a lot. And I think we'll have to conclude the class here. When we see on Wednesday, we will continue from where we left off. I think that would be great. Thank guys for watching, and I think that will be all for today. I'll see you on the next. Do have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you all for watching.